Hi, team. And, thanks so much for joining the training for today. I really want to welcome you all for this session. As I already said before, I'm Clinton Agoro from Capable. Our trainer today is Dr. Susan Gachora. She's joining us in a few. She's experiencing some technical issues, but we are working to ensure that all runs well. Profile. We can have we request for continued patience for this reason. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining us today.
Wanadropia
Thank you so much. Our speaker is with us now. Dr. Susan Gachora has joined, and I'm asking the admin to really allow her to share the screen. Yes, Susan, you can confirm if you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
Hi, Dr.
I am fine, thank you.
Okay, fine. Thank you, sir. allow me to
Sorry, you're not very clear. You're not very clear, Clinton. There's a bit of noise at the back.
Okay. Someone has unmuted. Let me ask them to mute. Yes.
Okay.
Now,
Yes, I can hear you.
okay. Thank you so much. I guess by now we've really seen for the participants, we've seen Dr. Daktari's profile. Just to authenticate that she is really qualified to take us through this session this afternoon. Sorry. Our trainer will be Dr. Susan Gachora. She's an exceptional professional who has been passionate about empowering SACCOs and through capacity building, training, and strategic planning. With a PhD in strategic management and extensive experience as a CEO in 2 SACCOs, she brings a unique blend of expertise and a personal approach to her work. Her impact goes beyond her roles in the boardrooms. As a lecturer, she inspires and guides future SACCO leaders, and firmly believes in transformative power of education. She has also collaborated with prestigious institutions as Mohiga SACCO, Athi River Mining SACCO, and Chipol Tea SACCO, delivering tailored training programs on member empowerment, liquidity management, and delinquencies management. Her involvement in strategic planning and policy development for Utabibu SACCO and Nation Peak SACCO Society Limited reflects her dedication to driving organizational success. Daktari has an empathetic style and diverse background and unwavering commitment to making her an invaluable asset for SACCOs seeking the strength their team and native navigate the industrial landscape. And for this reason, this tells you now we chose Daktari to tackle this session today on credit control for different groups. And at that point, allow me to welcome Daktari in a special way. And just in case you have a question, you can always communicate through the chat box. Daktari, if you can hear me, kindly take over.
Thank you, Clinton. And I want to say good afternoon to everyone in this meeting. I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to make my presentation on credit control, and specifically on strategies of correction for different customers. And I will do this, and sorry that I joined in late, but I'm going to do it very fast. I want to upload my my presentation very fast. So I wish to maybe ask Clinton whether you can see my presentation. Hi, Clinton.
No, I can't see it from my end.
You can't see it on your end, eh?
Not up, yes.
Oh, okay. Very fast. Let me see. Sorry, just a moment, please. Hi.
Hi, Susan. Yes, now you can try bring it up again.
Okay. Hi.
Sorry for that.
Okay. I have. Would you be able to upload from your side?
Yes. Now you can upload it. You can present it. It's yet to reach my side.
Hello? Hello?
Yes, now it's visible.
Okay, all right. So I will do a very quick presentation on correction strategies for different customers. And this is handling credit control. But I want to say that credit control starts right from the appraisal, approval, and disbursement of any credit. So before we can talk about credit control, we want to know how is it done right from the beginning, because without that, then we may not be able to control. And we have just a small definition of what credit control is, and we are looking at practices and strategies that manage and regulate credit that is given to customers. And this will involve monitoring of credit and ensuring that customers fulfill their payments. Now, the primary goal of credit control is to minimize the risk of bad debt, maintain a healthy cash flow for the business. I'm sure every business would wish to have healthy cash flows so that they are able to meet their other obligations. Now, out of these primary goals, we want to look at a few objectives of credit control. Why would organization want to control their credit? And number one is to minimize bad debt, because when you minimize bad debts, you are able to have your capital back, you are able to have your cash flows on time. And then the second one is to ensure time repayments. So this is one of the objectives. You want to get back your money on time, and this would improve the cash flows, and it would also provide the necessary funds so that the organization meets other obligations like paying suppliers, employees, and other expenses. Another objective is maintaining a healthy cash flow. Every organization must endeavor to have a healthy cash flow. You need to maintain a steady and predictable cash flow. Anticipate incoming funds. You see, when you don't have cash flows, that can lead to the collapsing of an organization when you're not able to meet your obligations. So it is important that you maintain a healthy cash flow. And you can also be able to make informed decisions regarding other investments, including whether you want to expand another financial commitment. Now, another objective is to assess the creditworthiness of the customers. Before you, and that is why I said you start right from when you're appraising and approving the credits, because is this customer creditworthy? Can this customer be able to pay back? You need to look at their history and see whether they are able to meet the obligation that they are committing themselves to. Another objective is building strong customer relationship. You want to maintain a positive customer relationship because you need this customer as an organization. This customer, and we always say that customers are kings. So you want to maintain a very healthy relationship with the customer, a positive one, and you want to foster some trust, loyalty, and long-term partnership with the customer, because you still need this customer tomorrow. The other one is optimizing working capital. This is another objective of credit control. So you want to reduce the need for external financing. So if you have enough capital, you don't need to go looking for capital elsewhere. Because when you get capital externally, then you will pay more for that capital. So you want also to lower your borrowing costs, and you also want to improve your liquidity. Now, the other objective is to comply with legal and regulatory requirements. So when you work on your credit control, it will help you operate within the boundaries of the law. You also want to maintain ethical standards in credit management and processes. Now, so when concluding these objectives, we are saying that if you can achieve these objectives, then you are able to have a financially stable organization, an organization that will have growth, an organization that will have profitability, and you'll be able to minimize the potential risks. Then we can look at some of the activities. Sorry, I'll move fast because I know my time is much gone. We look at some of the activities that are involved. So when we talk about credit control, what are some of the activities that you need to work on? One is you need to do a credit assessment. So that is way before. You want to examine the financial position of the customer. You want to look at their payment history. You want to look at their credit references, and that will help you determine the limits of this customer. How much would you lend to this customer? Because that credit assessment is very important, and that is why I had said we start right from before you start advancing the credits. The other activity is credit terms. As an organization, you must ensure that you have given clear credit terms. For example, when the payment due dates are, the grace period, and any other applicable penalties for late payment. That's the only way you can be talking about credit control. Because if you leave it open, you do not have terms, then that would mean anything can happen. So we also want to be doing invoicing and statements regularly. So as an organization, have timely and accurate invoicing. This will help in credit control. So you should promptly send invoices to customers. You state to them the amount due, the payment terms, and any other relevant information. You could also send them regular statements. And when you send these regular statements, you will be making it aware to the customers the kind of balances that are outstanding. The other activity is monitoring payment. So you must, as an organization, monitor payment. So it's not only enough to advance credits to customers, but you must monitor that credit. So this may require following up with customers, especially those who may start paying or after due dates. So you should also think of sending reminders to them and actively track outstanding balances. That is very, very important because you need to have a feel of what are the balances that these customers have. The other activity is communication. So in credit control, communication and negotiations are very key. So you need to have an open and transparent communication with customers. Now, if you realize that a customer is having difficulties in payments, then you may need to negotiate either alternative payment plans. You can offer like credit extensions, and you ensure that you are also minimizing the risk to your own cash flow so that you also don't extend so much and then you're having problems with cash flows. The other activity is debt correction. Now, we may get to cases where customers fail to make payments and you have reminded them, you have negotiated with them, and this may get to a point of wanting to collect the debts. So you work towards efforts to collect those debts. Now, Working towards correction of debts may involve looking for debt correction agencies or even taking legal action due to the outstanding debts. Now, concluding that bit of the activities, we would say that where there is effective credit control, you can be able to maintain healthy financial positions, you can reduce risk of bad debts, and you can improve your cash flows. But when you're doing all this, then you need also to have a balance by ensuring that you grant credit to customers and ensuring that they pay promptly, and you also build relationship because you need this customer tomorrow. Now, what are some of the correction strategies? We get to the main area of our presentation today. What are some of the strategies that can be used for different customers? Because we realize that customers are different. We call them different pairs, and we look at about 4 of these different pairs. Now, when you're working on these strategies or implementing the strategies, you need to consider a few things. One, realize that customers have unique circumstances. You also need to think about the payment history of this customer. And you also want to think about relationship with your business. Key points that you must look at even as you look at every strategy for different customer. Now we have different types of customers when thinking about the payment. One, we have regular prompt payers. We also have occasional rate payers and chronic rate payers and financially struggling customers. So these are different types of customers, and each type of customer should be handled in their unique way because they have unique circumstances. So we will start with the first type of pair, and we are calling them regular prompt payers. Now, regular prompt payers, they are those that pay regularly and they pay promptly. So if the date is 20th, they have paid by 20th and they pay regularly. And so how do you handle such customers? You need to maintain regular communication. So these are some of the strategies. Maintain regular communication with these customers, maybe through phone calls, through emails. The second thing you need to do is to provide convenient payment options. These customers, just to encourage them because they are good customers, they are paying well and promptly. So you can encourage them, maybe provide multiple payment channels. You can provide like online payments. They can pay directly through bank transfers. You can have automatic payment arrangement to facilitate that prompt payment. So you are just working towards assisting these prompt payers so that they can even do it better. The other thing that is very important, you need to express appreciation. You need to acknowledge that they are consistent. They are consistent to their payments. Just acknowledge that. And you can do that by sending a thank you message. You can give loyalty rewards so that you maintain that positive relationship. Maybe making a call to these people just makes them even want to pay regularly and also promptly more. Now we have this second type of payers. Now these are payers that occasionally they pay late. So maybe some months they are consistent, then after some time, they are not able to pay. So you find that they are paying late. Instead of paying on 20th, they are paying on 30th, they are paying after fast and all that, depending on the dates that you've given them. Now, for such, it's important that you set friendly reminders. So you set gentle reminders a few days before the due date. So you should be keen on such, so that either you flag them and just before the due date, set some friendly reminder. Just tell them your loan due date is this, please make payment. Now, you can also follow up the communication, because if you find that the payment is becoming overdue, then reach out to such a customer, make a phone call, send an email, and get to understand what are the charges, because the customer may be having charges, and that is why they are not able to pay consistently, and that is why they're even paying late. So get to understand this customer and the charges they may be facing. And another thing you can do, you can provide assistance or alternative payment arrangements. So if you realize that a customer is struggling, maybe because of financial issues, maybe the business is not doing well, maybe they have issues with finances, maybe they're having problem with health and all that, then you can provide assistance by giving alternative payment arrangements. That is, if that is needed, but it's a follow-up communication. And another thing you can do to such customers is to give them flexible payments plan. So you can offer payment terms, either you spread the outstanding balance, you give them a longer period, you can negotiate with them maybe how much are they able to raise every month, so that you can negotiate and give them some terms that they could be comfortable with. So those are the occasionally late payers. We have the third type of payer, and the third type of payer is now beyond the occasionally late payers, chronic late payers. Now, these are people who are not paying, they are paying late, they are delaying, sometimes they even miss a payment, maybe a month or two. So how do you go about, or what strategies would you use to help your organization collect the necessary monies or whatever credits they may be having? So this time you need to reinforce, you need to give them clear payment terms. Just reinforce, because they are there in the terms that you gave them initially. You need to reinforce the agreed upon terms, and you emphasize the consequences. Assuming that this customer had taken a loan against a certain collateral, just remind them that there are consequences, because if you don't pay, then we are going to either sell your collateral. If it's like some credit against guarantors, especially what happens in SACCOs, because their credit they give against guarantors, then you need also to tell them very firmly that we are going to attach your guarantors. So just be firm. Then the second thing you do is you give again firm reminders. Set them reminders immediately the due date has passed. Tell them the potential impact on their credit history. Just telling them you're also going to destroy your creditworthiness. This may not be easy for you to access credit in future because of what is happening at the moment. Remember, these days we have the credit reference bureaus just be firm and tell them if this doesn't happen at some point, then you may have to list them, and listing has its own consequences. Now, the last thing that you do for these kind of payers is escalation. So if the customer ignores the reminders, then the best thing you can do is escalate the matter to a higher level within the organization. You can also go ahead and seek the assistance of collection agencies, and you exert additional pressure and encourage payment. So those are things that must follow, so that at least you try first to see how well or how best you can assist this customer. But if the customer finally is unable to respond to you, you may just have to escalate the case. Now, we also have another type of customer, and these are financially struggling customers. I'm sure we all understand the situations that can happen. A customer takes credit to put into a business, but the business fails, it doesn't peak, especially for starters, and the business doesn't peak. So what do? And they had hoped that this is going to work. There are some challenging situations, like maybe you put your, you take credit towards agricultural activities, and you can never be sure, 100% sure. Maybe the weather changes, maybe something affects, maybe the crops you had hoped you would sell and then pay the money. So there are many reasons why customers may struggle. You recall way back in 2020, what happened with so many businesses during the COVID time. And most of the financiers worked towards assisting their customers. Maybe they were given some time so that they can reorganize themselves. Remember also, at that very time, some businesses closed. So it is very important to realize that these things can happen even when a customer has credit. So how do you go about it? If the customer is struggling, be compassionate. Show them empathy and understanding towards their financial difficulties. But sometimes as institutions, there are institutions that are a bit very harsh to the customers. But we are saying, show them empathy, because it's not intentional. The customer may be going through very hard times and it is not intentional. Then so show them empathy, understanding on the situations they are facing. Organize for payment arrangements. So you can work with the customer and establish a realistic payment plan. And that may be very helpful to the customer. Maybe you give them some period first to reorganize their finances, or you extend their credit so that they can pay with less kind of monthly installments. Whatever way you can work, discussing with the customer, that can be done and will be very helpful in getting back your money, rather than just being very harsh to the customer, and the customer may have absolutely nothing to do. Then you can also refer them to assistance programs. Maybe as an institution, you may know that there are other organizations that can be able to bail them out, offer financial assistance, or give them resources, whatever can help this customer so that they are able to pay back what had been given to them would be very welcome to such a customer. So if you have any kind of knowledge, you can refer them to such assistance, because it will be also for your benefit as the institution, as a lender, that you are able to get back your money. So because the very key thing here is to get back your money, or your money. So those are the 4 types of customers, and the strategies that can be used to try and ensure you are getting back your money. So now, as you work towards these strategies, there are a few things you need to really note. One, it is very important to maintain professionalism. I am sure maybe some of you may have faced some situations whereby you are harassed by auctioneers, harassed by debt collectors. It is not supposed to be like so. There should be an element of professionalism, even as you try to get back or to correct your monies. So strategies should go along with professionalism. The second thing that is very important is to treat customers with respect. And I say that customers are always the kings. You need this customer today, you need them tomorrow, you need them many other years to come. And in marketing, we also say, when one customer is dissatisfied and walks out, they may walk out with so many other customers. So it is important that you understand the situations of the customer and you treat them with respect. Another important thing that you have to do is to adhere to legal and ethical guidelines when you are implementing the correction strategies. And sometimes I've given that example of when you have debt correctors that are very harsh to the customers, debt correctors who want to expose the customers to their families. There is a law enacted about debt correction and what should be followed by the debt correctors, because it's not just about harassing, it is not about embarrassing the customers, it's not about exposing them to the world or even to their families. No, it's not supposed to be. So you need to adhere to the legal and ethical guidelines when implementing the correction strategies. And finally, the last point is that every situation requires to be customized. So you look for a customized approach. You should adopt your strategies based on the specific circumstance of each customer. So even when we are talking about strategies, none is cast on stone. You need to customize whatever you're doing as per the customer. Every customer, all the customers have their own unique situations, unique circumstances, unique challenges, and therefore your approach should be customized to each customer. And I think I've gotten to the end of my presentation. I would wish to open up for plenary discussion. If there are any questions, we'll be able to answer. And thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much, Susan. You can confirm you can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Clinton.
Thank you so much for such a wonderful session. I can see there's a a question in the Q&A.
Mhm.
There's a can you see it from your end, Susan, or I read it for you?
You can read it for me, Chris.
Okay, this it's an anonymous attendee. They are saying, how can one gain that confidence of active collection, especially through calling? Some customers can be intimidating.
That is true. Some customers can be intimidating, but you remember we have looked at having a friendly follow-up. Sometimes you may even want to visit the customer wherever they are. I'm sure there are those customers, sometimes they fail to respond to their calls, but as a lender, because your interest is to get back what you gave out for the purposes of cash flows and for the purposes of your profitability and growth, then you take your time to make those friendly follow-ups. If for example, the phones are not going through, you send the emails, and you can also try to see whether you can visit them. I'm sure it's not very easy, but with using friendly tactics, I'm sure you can get to these customers.
Thank you so much for that response. And I'm trying to see if there's another question to be addressed to you, or if someone is having an addition to the discussion. And to our participants, we are free to add or then bring more questions onto the platform. We still have about 6 minutes to go to the end of our stipulated time. So any other question, or if you feel like you want just to talk, you can just unmute and or raise the hand, and you will proceed with the addition. Yes, Paula, I can see your hand is raised. You can kindly proceed if you are you able to unmute. Hi, Edith. Hi, Edith. I don't know whether maybe she has left or I can see.
Clinton? Hi, Clinton.
No.
Hi, Clinton.
Hear you, but you can try it now.
I wanted to just summarize by saying.
The second question.
Oh, there's another question. Okay. Yes.
Even as it is working on. Yes.
Clinton, you're not clear.
Yes. Hello. Yes.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
You're not clear on my side. I wanted to hear that other question.
Hi, Edith. Can I read it?
Yes, please. Clinton? Hi, Clinton.
Yes.
Hi, Susan.
Hi, Susan.
Hi, Clinton.
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Yes. The second question says,
Yes.
what happens when you are dealing with friends as your customers? Sometimes it ruins you. What happens when you're dealing with friends as customers?
Your customers.
Sometimes it ruins
Yes.
your relationship when money is involved.
What happens when dealing with customers who are your friends?
Yes, who are your friends?
And they fail to pay back.
They fail to pay back and now money is involved. It ruins the relationship. What in that instance, what happens?
I think I want to emphasize that credit control starts right before you have given out the monies or the credits. And my emphasis is that how you go about it is very important. So if you are dealing with whether friends or it's just an ordinary customer, it is important to have everything clear. Have policies, go through the policies with these people so that when it comes to failing to pay, then you are clear that we are just following the policies that we had agreed upon. So that if, let it be legalized also, let it not be just friendly basis. When it comes to money, with monies, you have no friends. So the best thing is to make it very, very clear from the beginning. Even an institution, do due diligence. This person I'm giving, somebody may be your friend, but for the time you have stayed with them, you may know their character as far as money is concerned. So we are looking at credit control right before you give them whatever credit you're giving. So, and again, doing the right thing. Have everything legalized. If it needs to have some agreement signed by the lawyers, it is important. So that if this person fails finally, you can seek legal redress. And I'm saying it's important also to know your friends. You have the history of these friends. How are they as far as money issues are concerned? I'm sure this one you can easily get to understand. So this fact that they have failed, you just follow the legal, the legal ways so that you can get back your money. Of course, this will affect the relationship, but if this person is a genuine friend, then I'm sure they would do the right thing. But ensure from the beginning, it is not a friendly loan, it is a legal process that is done. Hello?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for answering that. Now, I think this will be the last question we are having. If you can hear me, I can also read it for you.
Yes, please do.
Give a comment.
Okay.
It is, what's your comment on technology doing and we upskill to remain relevant?
Pardon, Clinton. What is your comment? What is your comment on technology?
What's your comment on technology most of the credit control functions?
You are not very clear. You're not.
And how can we upskill Yes, doing most of the credit control functions. And how can we upskill to remain relevant?
Okay. Okay, I've not clearly gotten your question, but in regards to technology,
Did you get me?
I didn't get the every bit of it.
Okay.
But I will,
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you, Clinton. Hello? Hello?
Yes. Now the question, I don't know, I can read it now. Can I read it for you?
Yeah, please do, but you are breaking as you read. I don't know where the problem is.
Okay, I'm really sorry for that, but this is the question. What's your role? What's your comment on technology doing most of the credit control functions, and how can we upskill to remain relevant?
Okay, okay. That's a very good question. We are just in the technology age. There's no going back. There is no going back. And with the proper system and a proper software, it is very easy to handle credit control, because we are looking at systems that are giving you online or real-time situations, real-time status of customers' debts, so that you can, or it cannot even trigger. These are systems that can even trigger and ensure that those emails, it is not you to go back to the system, but the system just triggers and shows you that this person is supposed to be paying this time. And so can we do the right thing? So technology is the in thing, and technology is very helpful today in terms of collection of our debts from the creditors. It's a key thing. And like you are asking about upskilling, today we are looking at the artificial intelligence, we are looking at the robotics, we are looking at many ways that we can embrace in terms of credit management. So we cannot be left behind. But what we need to do is to ensure that we have proper systems that are working. And these systems, again, we need to ensure that we are looking for ways of preventing the cyber attacks and all that, because today it is about everything real time. It's about technology. It is about online loans. You can imagine the kind of online loans applications that we are having. There are so many apps. So what is important is to ensure that as an institution or even an individual, you invest in a very robust system, which will be very helpful in debt correction. It will be very useful in every part of your credit management. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Susan, for such an elaborate explanation and the questions that we have. And I really want to confirm that we have finally come to the end of the webinar today. And I'd wish to say that we are really grateful as a team, especially to the participants and also to our speaker today, Dr. Susan, for taking time to attend today's session. And unless you have the last word, then we'll just call it done till next Wednesday, such a time, same place.
Okay. Thank you, Clinton. My last word would be just to say I'm so grateful. Thank you for the participant for listening. I trust that you have gained some knowledge about credit control, but I still want to insist my point. Credit control starts before the credit is granted. So let us do the due diligence from the beginning, and that will help us in credit control. Thank you.
Thank you so much. For those who are still on the call, remember to get your certificate from the link that is shared here. And note that the link will be active from 3 p.m. And we really apologize for the inconveniences that were caused when we were starting. We beg your pardon, and we promise to change many things next time. Otherwise, I really appreciate your time. And Irene Moti saying that thank you for the wonderful presentation. That's Terry, and we will get liberty to leave at our own leisure. Thank you so much. Next time.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.